A landlord in Dubai received 800,000 dirham fine, a travel ban, and his bank account was frozen. Money was deducted before he even knew that a case has started. And the reason this all happened is, unfortunately, his agent gave him correct advice about the eviction process, but incomplete advice. One rule was never mentioned in that. One conversation never happened, and it cost the landlord a lot of money and hassle. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what that rule is and why so many agents in Dubai, they don't flag it, and what you need to do before you issue a single eviction notice in Dubai. Being in Dubai for over 1.5 decades, I have seen what happens when the legal side of a deal is handled by someone who does not fully understand the law. This video is the conversation your agent should have had with you. So in this video, here is exactly what I'm going to cover. First, the exact sequence of events that led to this 800,000 dirham fine. Second, the specific Dubai tenancy law that was missed. And third, what default judgment mean for overseas landlords. And at the end, fourth, which is how to protect yourself before you make this same mistake. My name is Saliq Zahoor. I'm the founder of Eplog Properties. I have been working in Dubai real estate for over 14 years now. I'm an engineer by qualification and a real estate broker by passion. That combination gives me something most brokers cannot offer. I also understand the financial and trading part of the business as well as the technical side of real estate as well, which is something that stands me out from the crowd. Alongside our brokerage work, I'm also a partner in a construction business, and we have completed more than 50 renovation and extension projects in communities like Dubai Hills, District 1, Jumeirah Island, Arabian Ranches, and also Al Barari and Jumeirah Island Meadows as well, if I forgot. So what I'm sharing with you today is not advice which is I'm reading from somewhere. This is what I have done hands-on right here in the community and in the city. Okay, let me walk you through exactly what happened in this situation. This landlord, who was based overseas, was managing his property remotely in Dubai. His tenant was paying well below the market rent, and after COVID, rents in Dubai villa market and even apartments, but predominantly in the villa segments, have risen significantly. The landlord wanted to reclaim the unit, re-rent at the market rate, and also improve his returns, which is completely reasonable and completely common. He engaged an agent. The agent advised issuing a formal eviction notice, and then the landlord issued the notice. 12 months later, the tenant vacated. Up to this point, everything legal. The eviction process was followed correctly. The notice period was observed. The tenant left without any dispute. But here is where it all went wrong. Under Dubai tenancy laws, if you evict a tenant by formal eviction notice, you cannot re-rent that property for 2 years in the case of residential. This restriction exists to prevent the landlords from evicting tenants simply to chase higher rents. The law is designed to protect long-term tenants from being displaced for purely commercial reasons. And if you break that restriction, the evicted tenant has the right to claim damages in case of family, kids, school relocation fee, moving cost, loss of tenancy, and disturbance compensation. The landlord in this case, unfortunately, did not know any of this, and he re-rented the property at a market rate within months, or shall I say weeks, after the tenant left. The evicted tenant found out, because data is very accessible in Dubai real estate, you can go and look at the transactions online, and once he found out, he filed a case. So the next part is, which is again the second failure point in this story, is that the landlord was overseas. So he was not actively monitoring his legal correspondence in Dubai, and a court hearing was scheduled based on the case that the tenant has opened. Since the landlord was not even made aware of it, he did not appear, and in this case, or in this situation, if the defendant does not appear for a hearing, the court can issue a default judgment. This is exactly what happened in this case. The judgment was issued in the tenant's favor. AED 800,000 dirham. When the judgment moved to execution, so again, it's a bit legally long process, but quickly, once the judgment is issued, you have certain timeline, 15 or 20 days to do the appeal. And if it does not happen from this side, then judgment goes for execution. When it went for execution, a travel ban was placed, his bank account was frozen, and out of that amount, if full amount is available, they deduct the full amount, and if anything is less available, they deduct the less amount, and the balance is outstanding. All of this because of one missed conversation. So what do you do if you're a landlord in Dubai and you want to reclaim your property? First, be clear about your intention. Dubai tenancy law recognizes specific grounds for eviction: personal use, major renovation, demolishing, or the property is not livable. Re-renting at a higher rate is not one of them. If you evict for a personal use or renovation or development, the 2-year restriction still applies to re-renting, and your agent needs to make this absolutely clear to you before the notice is issued. Until or unless, again, this is not a law, but some cases I have practiced it, where the leaving tenant gives you a legal notice or an NOC that he has no objection you to re-rent the property. Second, if you're based overseas, you must appoint a legal representative in Dubai, someone who can receive the correspondence on the WhatsApp messages, on text messages, and on emails, especially for court filing, and respond to you on your behalf. A default judgment issued in your absence is exceptionally difficult to overturn. Third, ask your agent one direct question: what restrictions apply after this eviction is complete? If they cannot answer the question clearly and immediately, they are not the right agent for this transaction. So let me bring this together. Number one, eviction or evicting a tenant legally in Dubai does not mean you cannot immediately re-rent. The 2-year restriction is real when it comes to residential, and it is enforced. Number two, if you're an overseas landlord, you must have a legal presence in Dubai. A default judgment does not wait for you to land. And number three, your agent's job is not just to process the paperwork, it is to tell you what not to do. The law in this case is not new. Every experienced agent in Dubai knows it. The problem was not the law. The problem was an agent who either did not know it or did not think to mention it, assuming that you know it by default. So one conversation could have prevented all of this hassle. If you're a landlord in Dubai, whether you are here or based overseas, and you have a question about your rights, your options, or your next move, reach out to me directly. My WhatsApp link is in the description. I shall be more than happy to help you, and please share it with your circle of influence, those who own properties in Dubai, to make sure that they are not making the same mistake. And by the way, at the end, just got the idea. I recently have another example where a client of mine, not a client, a friend of mine, who had a commercial contract, a commercial lease contract, opened a rental dispute case, and the first phase he won the judgment, and the other party did the appeal. In the second phase he lost the judgment, but he never checked his email and he could not appeal the second judgment. Despite winning the first phase, the judgment went to execution and he had to pay the court fees, the legal expenses, plus he had to pay what the other party has claimed on him. So I will also create a video on that one. Until then, thank you very much for watching the video, and I shall see you in the next one.